When I ask somebody personally, what's your issue with homosexuality? Up to now, I've not had a valid argument for it.
I just dropped my app, www.ChisoLifts.com. Online personal training. You got custom meal plans, custom training plans. With the training plans, you got the video showing you how to do all your exercises. You could log in your sets, your reps, the weights you use, and literally every month I changed up your plan. In the description, you got a code BESTU20 at the moment. You can use that to get a 20% discount for life.
When Brandon was younger, the reaction is different. But as we've grown older and society's changed, because you're used to constantly mingling with people in that community, in the LGBT community and all that, the reaction, it's not the same no more, if you get what I mean. Like back in the day, you might have been like, no, man, don't hang with them, man. But now it's just like,
For me, I've got
because you know
one friend who's gay.
Because it's not affecting your daily life.
Funny thing, I've got one gay friend. Okay, we don't go out, as in we don't go out to places. But what I found interesting, what he was saying to me that the other day was that he said that why do people say there's a gay agenda? Like, for instance, when you look at TV, you look at, for instance, I think it was Spider-Man or something. One of these Marvel characters was going to make one of them gay, and I said the same.
Thingy, Robin.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
Would you guys say that there's such thing as a gay
Robin.
agenda? Because homosexuality, whether you like it or not, is in society, it's in the world, it's in nature. And sometimes people say that, being homosexual is unnatural. And I say that I believe nature encompapasses all.
No,
I don't think something can exist
this
outside of nature to call it unnatural.
No,
that's
but
just
this
my.
is why-
That's just what.
No,
you want to say?
yeah,
That's just
no,
my own opinion.
no, you're right.
Because the usual line people usually use when they talk about homosexuality is the act of it, what they do. So if someone will say, "Oh, I've had some," I'm trying to think how I can word this so it doesn't get bleeped out. So for instance, there's a certain way how gay men have sex, okay? And they talk about saying that the thing wasn't made for the thing, and I say that there are straight people who do that. Straight people have. It's not as if it's only. Well, straight people don't do.
Continue, bro.
No, but what are we gonna pretend that straight people don't do?
Brother.
What are we gonna pretend they don't do? Straight people don't do.
We're not pretending nothing, bro.
We're
You're
not
doing it on it, bro.
pretending
Carry on
Yeah,
with the story.
so what my point is? No, because I'm coming to you now, Ola. Don't come and move. Come and sit down. You know what I'm doing?
Man has to work out, get his manhood on.
Ola.
No, do you know how many people
sit
keep
down.
commenting on the videos that, hey, Ola never does workouts? People messaging me privately. I'm like, they never show the camera when I'm working out.
Oh, so
Catch
he's
this,
even doing
so-
it wrong. He's even doing it wrong. When we talk about homosexuality, we talk about the acts and what they do. Okay, primarily. Often people use the excuse of saying the penis wasn't made for the bums and therefore they shouldn't. Bearing in mind that straight people do that. Some would then say obviously that the penis is not meant to go into that hole, and I say the penis ain't meant to go into the mouth. And people do oral sex. So all of the arguments that are presented in that argument doesn't make sense to me. That's why I don't have a problem with it. And when people talk about the homosexual gay agenda, I say, what is the agenda? And even when we talk about religion, sometimes people use that as their argument for homosexuality. And I always say that there's no hierarchy when it comes to sin. So someone who's having premarital sex, okay, shouldn't be complaining about someone who's a homosexual, in my opinion. You're both sinning.
Yes.
And for me, the only thing that I've read, just talking about Christianity, is apostasy. That's the only thing that is unforgivable that I've read when it comes to being blasphemous against the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
All the other sins are just, it's neither here nor there. And that's usually the argument that people give. But when I ask somebody personally, what's your issue with homosexuality? Up to now, I've not had a valid argument for it. Apart from someone saying, if everybody turned gay, the world would end. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think this is an issue for debating. There's nothing to debate there.
But do you think there's an agenda?
I think there are certain agendas. Yes.
No, in this field of when it comes to homosexuality, do you feel there's an agenda? That basically that it's all over, that kids shouldn't be learning about homosexuality, it shouldn't be on TV. Should kids learn about homosexuality?
I think they should learn about it. I think here's the thing, because
So
you're complaining to different
no.
issues.
Your daughter comes home,
If
your
somebody-
daughter comes home, or your son comes.
I'm going to
Dad,
teach my kids
Yeah,
that
no,
this is
No,
how
I'm
the
talking about
world
your
works.
daughter comes home, your son comes. Dad,
Yeah.
this is what we learnt today. What did you learn today, Funke? Oh, Dad, this is what I learned today. I learned that Greg and Dave, if they want to be friends or cohabit, live together, they're allowed to do that, Dad. They're allowed. And you know what, Dad? I've seen Greg, and I think I want to do this with Greg, Dad.
Yeah, I don't think that it's one school lesson just converts them. Like That's
So homosexuality,
mad.
homosexuality should be taught in schools then. Homosexuality should be taught in schools.
I think everything, you should learn about everything. Like they should learn what happens. What they should in religious studies. They don't just going to learn Christianity. They're going to learn Islam and Buddhism and so on. So in the same way, like they're going to grow up in a heterosexual household. They're going to see their mum and their dad, but they should learn that this is how some households operate as well, and this is how some people, practice their own sexuality. But the aspect of it is not for me to try and censor what's going on with the world or what other people want to say. I have to make sure I give them a good ground and a good footing to stand on that's going to raise them up in a way that I want them to grow up, to be loving, understanding individuals who serve God. Now, you have that fundamentally means they have to understand the difference between secular worldviews and religious worldviews, understanding what a scriptural perspective is and what a human's perspective is. And that's a big part of life in general, whether it's homosexuality or not. That's fundamentally what you need to teach your kid. And so I'll give you an example, like at school, and I don't know what it was like for you guys, but in a boys' school, just like we kept doing with the pause thing, you might just say something's gay. Right, because you're just going, oh, that's gay, man. Don't do that. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Exactly. So everybody did this to some extent. Now we don't do that so much because we've all grown and we've got to say, okay, cool. This is offensive to you. I'm not going to keep using the word gay that way. But I said that, and basically at parents' evening, one of the teachers now said to my mum, he's a great student, blah, blah, blah. There was one incident in which he said to his friend, oh, that's gay. And we thought that wasn't necessarily a good use of the word, blah, 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 blah. My mom came home and I asked my mom, how's parents' evening? What did they say about me? And she was like, oh, you did well. There was one teacher that said something about gay, but I think he's gay himself, so forget all of that rubbish. Now, in that situation, my mom...
African
So my mom wasn't necessarily preparing me well for how to deal with the world. She was just going, and I don't. That's not exactly how I would do it with my children either. I wouldn't just be that dismissive and just be like, forget that one. You are doing well. Don't worry. I wouldn't do it that way. I want them to be prepared. I want them to know so they don't go out and say something ignorant or not know how to move in the society. But I also think that it doesn't just go as long as an academic knowledge. There are certain agendas in there as to how we want people to be seen and how we want people to be placed. There's an agenda for everything.
Because what's always puzzled me is that it's when someone says that, like there's nothing you can do to me that could make me become homosexual, because I just the first time I ever touched a princess purse, I felt that fairy cup, that special cup. I was sold. Literally, I never forget that day. I went to Woolworths. No, I went to Woolworths. And I thought he got in there. Listen, I thought I might find it on the shelf. I went to Woolworths. I was like, is this stuff boxed? Can you find this on the shelf? Like, I thought it might be in the pick and mix section. So there's nothing. Like no one taught me to be straight.
Could I get 1 kilo of pumps?
No, but
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie.
No one taught me.
I'm not gonna lie, there's two comedians here. We both didn't laugh at your joke, bro. That joke was dead, bro.
It wasn't even meant to be a joke, though.
No,
it's cool. It's cool.
I don't want to shake your hands.
Hey, he's gonna pick you up and speed
Yeah,
you
you
around.
know
I'm
that.
telling you.
I already
I'm telling you.
know. I know, okay, bro.
Your legs are gonna be the air dangly like.
Nobody. Okay, because I think there's a difference between nurture and nature. I think you can nurture someone. You probably can nurture someone to that direction, and I think there's a part of it which is nature. And for me, I wasn't taught to be straight. The first time I touched it, I just said, "This is me." I was sold, and that was the end of discussion. But
but the absence of you not being nurtured in that way doesn't necessarily prove that you can't, or that there isn't a concerted attempt to try and nurture some people in that way. Like, here's the thing: I'm not saying that someone's out there just trying to convert everybody to homosexuality. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, though, that there is a consistent managing of the image of it and a consistent presentation of the idea that kind of is supposed to make it so that people who are gay don't feel bad and they can feel comfortable, right? But what it does do...
That's not a bad thing, is it?
No, that's not a bad thing.
Okay.
But for children, I think different children take things in different ways. And some children may be more willing to explore because they've seen it. Now that's just real life.
That's
just how
kids in general, though.
Exactly, that's my point.
So even sometimes in a household, you see like a young boy who might put on his mum's heels, and his mum will say, "What are you doing?" It's relative.
So
kids explore, and I don't think you should
explore.
stifle kids when it comes to exploring. That's what they do. But in the same breath, I say, should there ever be a line drawn? Like, should kids be free
I think there should be a line drawn, and one of the things that I think we need to draw a line on with regard to the LGBTQ community is the idea of picking your gender and then making physical changes on the basis of it. So if a boy says he feels like a girl and wants gender reassignment surgery, I personally, I've always had a question with this, which I
You mean
haven't
under the age of like?
as a child, basically. I've always had a question about this, and I've never had a satisfactory answer, but in most cases where your mind doesn't align with what your body presents, we usually address the mind. But it seems like this is the one instance in which we address the body. And I think for a child whose mind is not fully developed yet, they may feel a certain way. I don't think they should make a permanent change to their body.
Have you heard about the people who have tried to reverse?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I know people have gone back.
There's a lot of that. So obviously we went to a party.
Yeah.
But if the same person had a party maybe 50 years ago, yeah, man, no, man ain't going there. But fast forward now, all the men them.
I think, but what I find interesting that a lot of men who are...
All the men them roll with him, all the men them chat to him properly all the time, all the men them proper link up with him all the time.
I think it's a weird one because a lot of the men who are very anti-gay, etc., you know, a lot of the clothes you wear, whether it's D squared, a lot of these designers are making, they're all gay. Not saying that it's a problem, but I think if you're really against this whole homosexual activity thing, a lot of the things we wear, a lot of the things we do.
What you said, D squared in particular?
Yeah. The two brothers,
Twins.
Twins, yeah.
And they're both. That's it.
Yeah. Question all that. Can I be against homosexuality as a man, but partake in threesomes with women? So basically, two women on women, so two women who are lesbians. I go to there, I partake in threesomes.
You know, funny
Can
enough,
I be against homosexuality, but yet
funny enough you say that. There's
have
never
threesomes with two women?
There's never been no issue with people and two women.
lesbians.
Yeah, there's never been no issue.
Is that a contradiction?
women.
Can I be against gay? Can I be against the LGBT community, but yet have threesomes with women?
What do you mean? Can you? Like, people do it.
No, but I'm saying, but is it a contradiction? Because
it's definitely a
isn't that a form of
contradiction.
homosexuality? So therefore, you're not against homosexuality, then, are you?
I mean, so some men are very clear on the fact that they like lesbians, but they don't like to see male homosexuality or don't want any of that near them. That's their own positioning. But for myself as a Christian, for example, I can't engage in any of that behavior.
But what I'm saying is that as a man, so say for instance me, Gabriel, I say that I'm against homosexuality. Like I abhor it. It's abhorrent. The whole LGBT, is it LGTV?
What, men say having
Or is it
threesomes?
LGBT community?
But let's also remember as well, like,
I've had threesomes before, but I'm saying,
whoa, bro, whoa.
What are you talking about? Me?
Hey, all right.
I'm like Ola boy.
What do you mean? You ain't like me. You ain't
no Christian.
I had no.
No, what I'm trying to say is it a contradiction for me to say that I'm against homosexuality, but yet partake in sex with two women?
I think it's there is a contradiction in there, especially if you want the women to do
kiss
stuff
and
with each other. Yeah, by all means. But let's be honest here. If in a man's mind, his processing of sexuality, they're not really even lesbians. They don't care about each other. They're both there to please him. And even if what they're doing is good for them, it's so that it looks good to him. So it's, a lot of the time, it's not like he wants, I want to know that you guys are in a caring, loving relationship with each other and have feelings for each other. It's nothing to do with that. It's just a matter of, I like seeing you guys kiss, or I like the way your bodies look together. And so it's all about pleasing him. And so that's why I say that a lot of men have no problem with holding up that double standard, because really the only standard is what pleases me.
Which is very selfish, Kit. Like, it's a selfish idea.
It is.
Hope you enjoy this episode. More good content coming on the way. More people going to be featured. Approaching 10K now, so I'm going to start trying to bring some of my friends who's got like a larger following, because when I first started this channel, I didn't want to reach out to some of them to bring them on the channel, because I felt like, what's the best way to explain it? I didn't want them to feel like, I'm using them to grow my platform. I just want it to be organic, so I just reach for my friends who are around similar following and who are growing at the same time, so that I can kind of use mine to amplify them, and we just kind of just bounce off each other. But now that I'm getting to 10K, I'll start to get a few more of the people that you lot might know who are doing well out there. And stay tuned.